Hello again, everyone. This is your boy Beta Reborn. It's been a while, probably like a couple months since I last posted. Some of you may have noticed this channel's name has changed, but as I had previously mentioned on one of my videos, this channel is still taking shape. I've expanded the content of this channel to include my favorite things from the 1980s and 90s. It was probably over a decade ago when I decided to create a channel, back when YouTube was just starting, but I could not come up with any solid ideas. This new project will take us together through one of my favorite comic book series that started in the early 90s by Todd McFarlane. Hopefully, if this video is somewhat successful, I will create more like it. I ask you to just simply like and subscribe this video and leave a comment down below with any suggestions, questions, or your own personal comment. So anyways, thank you again and hope you enjoy this. Now let's get started. Oh, almost forgot to mention, I never finished reading the Spawn series. I probably only got through some of the issues between 20 through 30. But as you know, life happens. I started getting older and my interest shifted to other things. Now that I'm older, I want to go back and finish reading this series, and one of my goals is to have that first time experience with you, my audience, and be witness to those first reactions in reading the rest of these issues. Again, thank you and enjoy. We start issue number 1 with a view of Earth from outer space. Spawn, also known as Al Simmons, narrates how he feels out of place and feels he was fooled to believe a deal he made would be granted. The scene then shows how he seems to be approaching Earth. Must be someplace in New York City. Spawn reveals how he feels like dying again, which lets us know we are not witnessing the story of a live human being. Spawn then gives us a clue how he seems to have some sort of amnesia after revealing how it was his choice coming back, but doesn't know why. The first thing to notice in this next scene is that it's 1987. The news is broadcasting the death of our protagonist and reveal to us his name, Al Simmons. Simmons seems to have jumped into public view when he saved the president from an assassination attempt. His wife's name is also revealed, Wanda Blake. Simmons is also mentioned to have been voted one of the 10 sexiest men 2 years ago. However, not all news is positive. Simmons was believed to be involved with several government cover-up stories and mentioned to be possibly involved with a group called Youngblood. For those of us old enough to remember the 90s, TV news stations like ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and E! Entertainment were very popular. Todd McFarlane definitely seems to be making a reference to those TV stations with the scene.
I remember there was someone to love, someone to hate, and I was something special, and proud of it for a time. Then they turned on me. He turned on me. I remember dying. And her, oh God, she's so beautiful. I need it. He gave. I had to. All I could think of was her. So I promised and he accepted, all because of her.
After we get a glance of Al Simmons' memories coming back, he once again goes into the betrayal of the deal he made. Simmons still doesn't have his memory back, but seems to remember parts of the deal he made, and that there is a certain someone that he must find. As he says,
"She'll know who I am."
this next scene is one of my favorites from issue number 1, not because of the dialect, but because of the art. Todd McFarlane really gave us a first full view of what Spawn truly looks like in full costume. For me personally, Spawn was the comic icon of the 90s. Every other main comic strip character, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, etc., had been created decades before, but Spawn was truly an icon born and made in the 90s, an era where video games like Mortal Kombat debuted and were at an all-time high. After leaving Spawn and his plan to find her and the one who framed him, as he puts it, we get introduced into two characters that will be vital in the Spawn series, Sam and Twitch, who are two NYPD homicide detectives. Note that on this scene, we are only told Twitch's nickname. We still don't know Sam by name. Sam is introduced as a heavy-set smoker and acts as the chief of the two. Twitch is depicted as a scrawny guy with glasses, but has a light humor and seems to have an eye for detail. He reveals this by describing to Sam how the victim was killed. The victim's name is Carlo Giamatti and is the third hitman killed in the last 48 hours. Who's doing the killing? At this moment, we can only guess.
It's a hell of a town, Twitch.
Yes, sir.
Scene cuts back to the alleys with Spawn, who finds a woman in distress. 4 thugs are about to take advantage of her when Spawn dives in. Spawn threatens to kill them if they do not leave. One of them confuses Spawn with a member of the Youngbloods. Remember that name from earlier in the news?
I'm gonna carve me a super...
Bad idea.
Another one of the young thugs tries to challenge Spawn, but he quickly shows him and his fellow gang members they are way out of their league. For the first time, Spawn shows us a glimpse of necroplasm, a substance his costume and body are made of. More about this in the later issues. What's important to know here is that as the audience, we get a glimpse of his power, what will set him apart from other comic book superheroes. After having rescued the woman from her attackers, Spawn has a flashback where some of his memories seem to come back. His mind feels a tremendous pain by the onslaught of memories coming back, especially of Wanda, who Spawn doesn't understand fully why still. He remembers his funeral and can sense the emptiness Wanda feels after his death. Then you feel her presence, warm, caring, soothing, but somewhere deep inside, she feels empty now. She has no reason, no meaning, no soul. But your soul lives, while hers is dying. He comes back from those memories, finding himself being consoled by the woman he just saved. It's 1992. 5 years have passed since the news of Al Simmons' death was televised. We now get news of a fourth gangland murder during the last 2 days and the seventh for the year, which include Carlo Chiamati's murder from an earlier scene with Sam and Twitch. There is no solid evidence yet of who is doing the killing, but as one news station anchor says, they rather the killer not be found since it is the bad guys being killed. There have been sightings of Spawn as the news station E! Entertainment makes reference of Spawn's cape costume with spikes and chains. What I got reminded of during this scene of televised news is that in 1992, the US, especially in cities like New York and Los Angeles, gang-related crimes were a major issue and problem. And in Los Angeles, the Rodney King riots happened. Major events that set a similar tone in the Spawn series for this time. We check back on our hero who has been dwelling in the same alleys for the past 5 years, wondering about his past, when suddenly he realized who the woman grieving his death was in those flashbacks he had years prior. His wife. He realizes she's the reason he made that deal to come back. He also realizes he can't feel being alive, but somehow he is. And the source of that is attached to his costume, which he decides to try and take off at this moment.
My face felt like Jesus, what am I? What am I?
While Spawn is trying to swallow his current found situation, Sam and Twitch continue their investigations in trying to solve who's doing the killings. Then, the scene cuts away from them, and somewhere in time,
Simmons, if you think you got problems now, I promise your troubles have just begun.